Welcome to our channel. Today we're diving into some of the most fascinating paradoxes that challenge our understanding of reality and logic. These aren't just riddles for a rainy day, they're thought experiments that have puzzled philosophers, mathematicians and scientists for centuries. Get ready to have your brain twisted into knots as we explore the boundaries of what we think we know about time, space and even existence itself.
Imagine this. You build a time machine and travel back to meet your grandfather before he met your grandmother. The excitement of time travel is overwhelming, and you can't wait to see how the world looked before you were even a thought. Then, let's say, you accidentally run him over with your time-traveling DeLorean. The shock of the accident is immediate, and you realize the gravity of what just happened. A tragic accident, to be sure, but now the real problem kicks in. You start to panic, thinking about the consequences of your actions. If your grandfather is dead, he can't meet your grandmother. The love story that led to your existence is now erased. If they never meet, they never have your parent. And if your parent is never born, then neither are you. The family tree that once flourished now has a gaping hole where you should be. So who drove the car? The paradox deepens as you ponder your own existence. This, my friends, is the essence of the grandfather paradox. It's a mind-bending scenario that challenges our understanding of time and causality. It forces us to confront the idea that changing the past, even in a seemingly minor way, could unravel the very fabric of our present and future. The threads of time are delicate, and one small change can lead to a cascade of unforeseen consequences. Some physicists argue that this paradox suggests time travel to the past might be impossible, as it creates logical inconsistencies that cannot be resolved, while others propose theories of parallel universes to explain it away. In this view, each action creates a new, branching timeline, allowing for multiple realities to coexist. Maybe you just created a new timeline when you fired up that time machine. In this new reality, your grandfather's death doesn't affect your existence in the original timeline. Either way, it's a mind-boggling concept that makes you question the nature of cause and effect. The implications of time travel are profound, and they force us to rethink our understanding of reality itself.
This paradox is a real head-scratcher. It plays on our intuition about percentages and how we often misunderstand them. Let's say you have 100 pounds of potatoes and they're 99% water. That's a lot of water, right? Now, you leave them out to dry overnight, and they lose some of that water content, leaving them at 98% water. Seems straightforward so far. Here's the paradox. How much do the potatoes weigh now? This is where it gets tricky. You might be tempted to say 99 pounds, but the answer is actually much lower. 50 pounds. How is this possible? It defies our initial expectations. Well, initially, the solid part of the potatoes, the non-water part, made up 1% of their weight, which was 1 pound. This is the key to understanding the paradox. After drying, that 1 pound of solid matter now represents 2% of the total weight. This shift in percentage is crucial. Since 1 pound is 2% of the total weight must be 50 pounds. This is a surprising result for many. It's a classic example of how our brains can be tricked by seemingly simple math. Our intuition often leads us astray when it comes to percentages and proportions. This paradox is a great reminder that math can be counterintuitive. It challenges us to think more deeply about the numbers and what they represent. When we see a percentage, we often think in terms of the whole, but in this case, the whole changes as the water content changes. The drying process reduces the water content, but the solid part remains the same, causing the percentage of the solid part to increase. This shift in perspective is what makes the weight drop so dramatically from 100 pounds to 50 pounds. Understanding this paradox can help us better grasp other situations where percentages play a crucial role. It's a valuable lesson in how math can sometimes defy our expectations and why it's important to look at the details. So next time you encounter a percentage problem, remember the potato paradox and think twice before making assumptions. Math is full of surprises, and this is just one example of how it can challenge our understanding and make us see things in a new light. Keep questioning, keep exploring, and let math continue to amaze you.
Imagine a grand wooden ship, the pride of the seas. This ship has sailed through countless adventures, weathered many storms, and carried numerous treasures. It's a symbol of resilience and history. Over time, parts of the ship begin to wear out. The once sturdy planks start to splinter, the sails become tattered, and the deck shows signs of age and use. A plank here, a sail there, all gradually replaced with identical new parts. The ship undergoes a meticulous restoration process, ensuring that each new piece matches the original as closely as possible. The old parts are carefully stored away. These pieces, once integral to the ship, now lie in a quiet corner, each holding a story of its own. Eventually, every single piece of the original ship has been replaced. The ship looks as magnificent as ever, perhaps even more so with its renewed parts. Is it still the same ship of Theseus? This question lingers in the minds of those who behold the ship, sparking a deep philosophical debate. Now here's the twist. What if someone took all those original pieces and built a second ship, identical to the first? This new ship, constructed from the old parts, stands as a mirror image of the restored vessel. Which ship is the real ship of Theseus? The one with the new parts or the one rebuilt from the original pieces? This conundrum challenges our understanding of identity. This paradox goes beyond maritime matters. It touches on the very essence of what it means for something to remain the same over time, despite changes in its components. It forces us to confront the nature of identity and change. Are we defined by our physical components, or is there an underlying essence that remains constant? Is an object defined by its physical components, or is there something more, some essence that persists through time, even as its parts are altered? This question extends to many aspects of life, from personal identity to the nature of objects around us. There's no easy answer, and that's what makes this paradox so fascinating. It invites us to explore, to question, and to ponder the true nature of identity and change, leaving us with more questions than answers.
Chapter 4. Russell's Paradox. Shaking the foundations of math. This paradox dives into the heart of set theory, a fundamental branch of mathematics. Imagine a village with a very particular barber. This barber shaves all men in the village who don't shave themselves, and only those men. Seems simple enough, right? But here's the problem. Who shaves the barber? If he shaves himself, then he violates his own rule of only shaving those who don't shave themselves. But if he doesn't shave himself, then he must be shaved by the barber himself, because that's the rule. This paradox, discovered by Bertrand Russell, exposed a flaw in how sets were being defined in mathematics. It led to a reassessment of set theory and a deeper understanding of the limits of logic and language.
This paradox tackles one of the most fundamental questions in theology and philosophy, the nature of omnipotence. If God is all-powerful, can he create a rock so heavy that even he can't lift it? If he can, then there's something he can't do, lift the rock, which contradicts his omnipotence. But if he can't create such a rock, then isn't he also limited in his power? This paradox highlights the potential contradictions that arise when we try to define absolute omnipotence. It suggests that the very concept of omnipotence might be inherently paradoxical, challenging our understanding of both God and the limits of power.
This paradox is a classic example of self-referential contradiction. Consider the simple statement, this statement is false. If the statement is true, then it must be false, as it claims. But if the statement is false, then it must be true, because it's claiming to be false. It's a linguistic loop with no escape. The liar paradox has fascinated philosophers and logicians for centuries. It highlights the limitations of language and the strange loops that can occur when we allow statements to refer to themselves. It's a reminder that even seemingly simple statements can hide profound depths of complexity.
Tangrams, those fascinating puzzles made of geometric shapes, can also present us with a paradox. Imagine arranging the 7 standard tangram pieces into a perfect square. Now, rearrange those same pieces into a different shape, like a swan or a cat. The area of the pieces hasn't changed, right? Yet, somehow, the new shape might seem to have a slightly different area than the original square. This paradox arises from our perception and the subtle ways in which our brains can be tricked by visual illusions. It demonstrates that even in the seemingly precise world of geometry, Our subjective experience can play a role in how we perceive the world around us.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more mind-bending content. We've only scratched the surface of these paradoxes, and there are many more out there waiting to be explored. Remember, sometimes the most important questions are the ones that don't have easy answers. Keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep that cosmic curiosity burning bright. See you next time.